Hey, what's going on? Aaron Goldsten here. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step formula I used to go from $0 to making over $100,000 a year, which is over $2,000 a week, in 5 months, getting into an industry I knew nothing about. I'm going to share with you the exact formula I used, and it's a proven-to-work formula that anybody can use to make lots of money in anything. See, one of the misconceptions about getting rich is it's about how hard you work. Getting rich has nothing to do with how hard you work. It's all about how smart you work. It's all about using your brain. See, I remember when I was a server, this was a long time ago, and I was making like 15 to 20 grand a year, and I was working like 30, 40 hours a week. And I remember thinking, I was like, well, shit, I'm making, let's say, 20 grand a year to make it easy. And I'm working 40 hours. So if I want to make 40 grand a year, I'd have to work 80 hours. If I want to make 60 grand a year, I'd have to work 120 hours. Eventually, I'm going to reach a point where I plateau. I didn't understand how it would be possible for someone to get rich, because you got to think about it. Eventually I'm going to run out of hours in a week, right? Eventually I can only work so many hours. Well, I didn't get it, guys. I didn't understand getting rich is not about how hard you work, it's about how smart you work. We're going to go over all that in this video as well, and I can prove this to you, right? So think about some of the hardest working people I know are poor to middle class, if best. I was driving down the street the other day at night, and I was going to the gym, and they were doing some work on the side of the street, right? So it's at midnight, and there's these people out there. It was really hot out, right? So there's people out there, they're sweating, and they're doing this heavy machinery. They're construction workers, right? Now, construction workers make decent money, but I definitely wouldn't say that they're rich. I definitely wouldn't say they're making, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year and rolling in dough, right? There's people that work at factories. There's people that do heavy machinery, right? They work really hard. When I was a server, I don't know if you've ever been a server before, but servers work really hard. It's not like you're pressing buttons, you're running around and doing a lot of work. You're working hard. But those people are not rich. And then there's somebody that's the CEO of a company, and he's got a yacht. He's making $20 million a year. And all he does is he stands on his yacht, he hits golf balls into the ocean, and he's bringing in $20 million a year. Well, how does that work? Because that guy that's on the yacht is not working nearly as hard as a construction worker, but he's making significantly more money. That's because one of the keys to getting rich is working smart. Getting rich is not about how hard you work. It's about how smart you work. It's about using your brain. It's primarily about getting the right information, strategies, tips, and tools you can use to get rich, then taking that information and applying it and using your brain to get wealthy. And that's kind of what I did here. So let me show you what I did. So what I did is I decided to start a detail shop. What the hell is a detail shop? A detail shop is basically a fancy car wash. So there's a place that's like 5 minutes from me. You can take your car there. They'll wash the outside of the car. Then they'll dry it. Then they'll vacuum the inside. Then they'll wipe down the windows. They'll wipe down the dashboard. And to do all that, it's I don't know what it is, like 18 or 20 bucks. It's like 20 minutes to do it. Well, a detail, if you get your car detailed, it's like doing that but on steroids. It's, a 2, 3, 4 hour process. It cleans the car in and out from the ground up, and paying very close attention to the detail of doing it, right? And usually to get your car detailed is $100, $200, $300, depending on where you go and the work that they do, all right? And what kind of deals that they give you. So I decided to open up this detail shop. So what I did is I had another business going at the time, so I took out $7,000 of my money and I put it into starting this detail shop. Now, you might be watching this video and you might say, Aaron, I don't have $7,000 to put into starting a detail shop, right? Or to starting a business. It's okay. You don't need, actually, to be honest with you, you don't need any money to get rich. That is a conspiracy that's not true. And in other videos that I send you in your email, we will go over that in more detail on how to make lots of money with no money. You can essentially create money out of thin air once you know the right strategies. But again, that's information for another video, not this video, okay? So I put $7,000 into this business, all right? I partnered up with this other guy. He put $7,000 into the business as well. Me and the other guy knew nothing about detailing. We had never detailed a car. I mean, the closest I got to detailing cars is when I was living at my parents' house, when I was younger, when I was 16 years old, maybe helping to wash my dad's car a couple times, all right? But it doesn't matter, because what I'm going to share with you guys will show you don't need to, well, let me just keep going. You'll see how this all makes sense. So, it was me, I put in $7,000, this other investor, he put in $7,000, and then we teamed up with this third guy. This third guy knew everything there was about detailing cars. He had all the connections, he knew about how to drum up business, he knew other people that detailed cars, he knew the process, right? We partnered up with this guy. This third guy put in no money, but because of his skill set, he was very valuable to us, so we gave him a third of the business. I got a third of the business, the other investor got a third of the business, and the final guy got a third of the business, all right? We started a detail shop. We took the money that we put into it, we signed first and last, we had to find a big building, and we signed first month's rent and last month's rent. That's typically what you got to do when you rent out a building. Sometimes you got to put down a deposit, but we didn't put down a deposit. We negotiated that we weren't going to do that. Then we took the money and we went and we got the supplies. We had to get tools and supplies, right? Then we were done. We opened up the door. We were ready to start a business, right? We were ready to start detailing cars. The guy that we partnered with that had all the connections, he knew a lot of car dealerships. Now, here's where car dealerships came into play. Car dealerships, when they get in a used car, before they sell it, they want the used car to look as clean as possible. So what they will do is they will send it to a detail shop. Sometimes they have in-house detail shops, but some car dealerships don't have in-house detail shops, or they get so overwhelmed, their in-house detail shops can't handle the volume of work, and they outsource it. So our partner, went out and he called all of his people that he knew that owned car dealerships. He said, hey, look, I started my own business detailing cars. I want to go ahead and show you the work we can do. Let us get a car and let me show you what we can do. All right? We got a car. So we said that to a bunch of car dealerships. Some of them responded. They let us get a car. We showed that we could obviously do the work. And we started getting business, right? Every car we detailed, we charged $100 for. So we were a little bit cheaper than everyone else. We charged $100 for. And I remember it like it was yesterday. We started getting 1 car a day, and then 2 cars a day. Then we started getting 3 to 4 cars a day. And in a handful of months, we got to the point where we were doing 10 to 15 cars every single day. We're charging $100 per car, 10 to 15 cars a day. That means we were bringing in $1,000 to $1,500 every single day. Guys, I never detailed a car. I never touched a car. I don't know how to detail a car, okay? Don't know anything about it. But it doesn't matter, all right? Because I used my brain to put everything in place I used some of my money too, and then I used my brain to, find a good location, to sign the paperwork, to look over everything, right? To negotiate, I put a system in place to where, all right, this is what we do when we get the cars. When we bring in the cars, we're going to run it through this assembly line. I put all that together so it wasn't just hectic. Now I obviously, the partner that I partnered up with, he said, all right, when you detail a car, you got to do this first and then this and then this. I said, great, let's put an assembly line in place, right? So the detail shop was really big, and the cars came in one end, and then they went through this process, and they eventually came out the other end, right? Fully clean. So I helped put that in place, right? I got the paperwork together for the business account. This was a legitimate business, so we had paperwork in place. I knew the lawyer to contact. I contacted an accountant. I had everything put together. And basically what I did, guys, is I used my brain to make money. In 5 months after starting the business, guys, I was at the point where I was at the detail shop no more than 12 hours a day, and I was personally pocketing over $2,000 every single week. That's $100,000 a year. I never touched a car, I never detailed a car, but I used my brain to put everything in place. I use the strategies that I learned from reading books and going to seminars and having mentors and learning about business and marketing and negotiating and building teams and keeping employees motivated and making sure everyone's happy and there's no drama, kind of all those things. I put it all together and I was able to start this business. Understanding that information, by the way, guys, is not as hard as you would think. You just have to find someone that's willing to share that information with you, and once you know a handful of the mechanics, a handful of the strategies, a handful of the principles, you can use this formula and go out there and make a lot of money in anything and everything you do. And then, of course, if you don't have, some people watching this video, you might have money to put up, so you could go this route. Another route is you could be like my buddy, right? He didn't have, or not my buddy, my partner. He became a close friend of mine. We went out to eat a lot. But, I was going to say we went to the club a couple times too, but he didn't put any money, but he had a skill. And that skill was very valuable to us. So everybody has something that they can contribute. You just have to know how to go out there. But you see how that happened, guys? I put everything together. I used my brain, and in 5 months, by having this system in place where these people would go get the cars, these people would detail them, these people would take the cars back, invoices were sent out, checks were coming in. All I really did, guys, when I was there for 12 hours, I wasn't really working hard, to be honest with you. A lot of it was I was at the second level. I would oversee everyone, but a lot of it was looking at numbers. I'd be on Facebook a little bit. I went to the bank a lot to deposit checks, but that's not really hard. That was just, I hopped in I bought 2 cars while I owned that dealership. So I hopped in my convertible, or not the dealership where I owned the detail shop. Hopped in my convertible, we did the check, I went to the bank, they said, "Oh, you're here again." I said, "Yep." I signed up. That's like what I did in the 12 hours, so it wasn't really working hard. I hope you guys got some value from this. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm consistently putting out tips and strategies and things that I've learned about how to get rich, how to get wealthy, so you can take that information, you can apply it to your life, and you can go out there and make a lot of money. So if your goal is to make a lot of money while having the free time to do the things you want to do, definitely go subscribe to my channel, so when I put out free videos like this video, you'll be one of the first to be notified about it, so you can watch the video, take the information, implement it into your life, and allow yourself to grow and get rich and make the money you want so you can do the things that you want to do. My name is Aaron Goldsten, and I'm signing off.